Hey guys, welcome back to Coming Soon. This is the show we talk about the upcoming films that are releasing in theaters, and we rate them according to our anticipation level. Gonna kick things off and introduce my wonderful panel. It's kind of a male show today, me and the boys, the way I like it. Mr. Christian Harloff.
Well, it's not Chocolate City, but we'll get into that a little later. Nice to see everybody, and I just have to say, Maude, you look terrible.
Maude, also known as Mr. Mark Ellis.
Yeah. Hello, mates. That's all I got. Sorry about that.
Fail.
Another shrimp on the bobby. There's more token phrases you can
Welcome
say.
to the Outback. Can I get you guys started with some cheese fries?
There you go. Perfect. And the wonderful David Griffin.
Well, it is always Chocolate City when I'm here, so we're going to bring it today, people. Thanks for having me again.
And you're glad that you're not comparing your life to the D train now, right?
The D train. Yeah.
All right, guys, before we get into the films releasing this week, I'm going to remind you of our fun little rating system, starting with 1, you're not really interested. 2, you're curious. 3, you're seeing it. 4, open and weekend, pretty excited about it. And 5, camp out, nothing's going to stop you from seeing this immediately. So with that in mind, our first title is Aloft. This was directed by Claudia Llosa. She also wrote it. It stars Jennifer Connelly, Melanie Laurent, and Cillian Murphy. The synopsis revolves around a mother, played by Connelly, and her son, played by Murphy, who get torn apart by an accident. 20 years later, a young journalist, played by Laurent, will create an encounter that reunites them, which puts the meaning of life and art into question. So I gotta tell you, I wasn't very aware of this film, because it's a small little indie, and the cast is stacked. I love Laurent. I want to see more of her, ever since Inglourious Basterds, of course, and she was in Now You See Me, and I love her. And I mean, Cillian's amazing. Those eyes, he can play creepy. This will not be creepy. This sounds a little more artistic. And Connelly, of course, could do no wrong. So I'm going to start us off with this one. And I'm going to say that I actually am going to see this. I think it's a 3, a C in it. I'm really intrigued. It has a lot to say. I think it's going to be really deep and interesting. And I like that it's a female director. And all the elements sound really good. And I mean, we hear a lot about social media kind of reuniting people these days. Long Lost Twins, there's a documentary coming about that. And it's just a really interesting, crazy time we live in. So to have a journalist kind of bringing them back, it's really not as far-fetched as it used to be. So with that in mind, Christian, start us off, 1 to 5.
I'm at 3, seeing it. I had also not heard of this movie yet. I did a little research on it, and it looks, like you said, it looks like there's a lot of depth, but it looks powerful. And that's kind of, I'm also on the same page with Melanie Laurent. She was in In-Betweeners, which is another movie that I really enjoyed. And to see her back and forth with Cillian Murphy, and anytime you add Jennifer Connelly to the mix, you're adding a lot of performance here. So
Why are you chuckling?
Because I love Labyrinth as well. It's
it is. So this movie, it seems like it could be one of those kind of hidden gems. So I'm definitely seeing it, and my interest is piqued.
Maude Ellis? I mean,
this
Mellis
is why I'll take that. You can also just say Mark Ellis. I mean,
I'm just gonna call
this
you
thing's
Maude.
been making the rounds at the film festivals, which is why I think it was at Sundance and at Tribeca. Melanie Laurent, yes, that's why I'm in this movie as well. I loved her in Beginners. That's another movie where she just caught my heart and just reeled it in. The story's intriguing. The story it's one of those things where it's like, I want to know what the accident was. And you said that Cillian Murphy, he might not be playing a creep in this. There might be some creepy elements because I don't know what the circumstances surrounding why they went on separate tracks for so long were, or what's going to bring him back. I know that she's investigating this story, but from hearing about it, and then you give me that cast, I'm definitely going to put this at a 3, seeing it.
Griffin?
I'm going with everybody else. 3, seeing it. Also, Laurent is one of, she's awesome. She's incredible. But Cillian is another guy who deserves a lot more work. Of course, he's going to be in this, so go see it at AMC Theater. But if you want to see him now, he's in Peaky Blinders on Netflix, which is just awesome. Gets to play a gangster. Got the Goodfellas poster up there, so he's really good. I just don't know what the movie's about, which I think is cool. I know the summary of it, but I don't know when I watch the trailer. It doesn't spoil everything. I'm not going to go there and be like, oh, I know exactly what's going to happen. I know all the beats that are going to happen. I think that always intrigues me. It makes me want to go see a movie in the theater. So yeah, definitely a 3. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, Laurent was not in Betweeners. I was thinking of
Beginners.
Oh, okay,
yeah. But I went there because I speak Harloff.
Yes.
So.
Yes, thank you.
All right, moving on to, speaking of Harloff's favorite film of the week, Chocolate City. Jean-Claude Lamarre directed and wrote this one. It stars Robert Richard and Vivica A. Fox. It revolves around a struggling college student whose life changes in an instant when he meets the owner of a male strip club who convinces him to give amateur night a whirl. Mr. Griffin, let's start with you. 1 to 5, where's your interest level?
I'm going to do 2. I'm curious, as I am about Magic Mike. Christian, borrowing what you said earlier about maybe this being maybe a shared universe. Could this exist in the same universe as Magic Mike? And that alone is kind of interesting. So Vivica A. Fox, I've actually met her in person. She is a beautiful woman. So I'm always like to see her on screen. But from a story standpoint, I don't know. I don't know if this looks that engaging, but I am curious. I mean, Tyson Beckford, I remember him as a kid, just seeing him in all the magazines and everything. I mean, he's been around since I was a kid. So I mean, he's old school, but he still looks good, looks the same. So I'm curious to check out this movie here, Chocolate City.
Good for your openness, Ellis.
I had a solid 2 with this until I saw the trailer. Then I was like, yeah, this is just the Black Magic Mike is what they're trying, and it doesn't even look good. Like it
Black
looks
Magic.
Like,
I like that.
I nobody likes Black Magic more than me. Chocolate City was my nickname in high school. I just don't think that this is going to be one of those films that you watch it and it's like not only are they just trying to take a different spin on this, it's a ripoff of it, and it looks like it shouldn't even be released in theaters. It just looks like you know all the beats from watching the trailer, so there's not going to be a lot of shock value. With Magic Mike, it was impressive because it had so much more depth than I thought it would. I just don't see that happening with this movie, so I can't get that excited about it.
And it had Soderbergh, so that's
that
a big different factor.
Well,
Christian?
I'm also not interested because you took my direct to Blu-ray, you took my shared universe, and you took my Soderbergh thing. So yeah, those are all the points. I mean, it really is a movie that when you hear about this originally, you go, I don't know if I want to see a movie about male strippers, if it's necessarily my thing. Then you hear Steven Soderbergh's doing one. You're like, wait a minute. Okay, and then you see it, and you see what it adds to it. And like Mark said, this just seems like a movie they're trying to capitalize on what was popular before. And I think that it is something that should land on Blu-ray. I don't think it's one. Look, this director could shock us, and maybe this is better than Magic Mike. Is that going to happen? No, but could it? Sure.
I think if you're a female though, if you're attracted to dude strippers, that you might want to have a fun weekend and go see this movie though. So I think that there's definitely an audience to see this, but it's just not me at all.
So I'm a female. I'm not sure if you noticed.
Oh, that's breaking news.
I'm a female, and I am not interested in this at all. And yes, I love naked men. Who doesn't? And being a female,
I know I do.
Chocolate City, holding it down. But it's play by play, paint by numbers. It just doesn't feel original at all. And you're right. Maybe it will surprise us. But even that poster isn't intriguing to me because it looks like Magic Mike without the star power that is Channing Tatum. So if they try to do something like this, because they know sex sells, we know that. And we also know that a lot of women actually put their money at the box office, So it could be okay. But that synopsis alone, I'm like, be a little more original. Have something else to say. And
it's trying to get ahead before Magic Mike 2 comes out, obviously, so it's going first. But yeah, it's just one of those. What I also think it missed, if you're going to do a complete knockoff, right, at least put a McConaughey-like character in there to where take a comedian and put him in that role and let a big comedian have, because that could have at least got some more butts in the theaters, I think. But like I said, who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. So we're seeing it opening weekend together? Cool. Great. All right, moving on to one of our more anticipated, Tomorrowland IMAX. Of course, this will be fun in IMAX. Brad Bird directed this one. He also co-wrote it with Damon Lindelof. Stars George Clooney, Britt Robertson, and Hugh Laurie. Bound by a shared destiny, a teen bursting with scientific curiosity and a former boy genius inventor embark on a mission to unearth the secrets of a place somewhere in time and space that exists in their collective memory. So, Ellis, why don't you start us off with this 1 to 5?
I am going a hot 4 on this. I am seeing this opening weekend, and I was already excited because Brad Bird's doing it, and I knew that for a while. I knew that Disney was involved in the project. Tomorrowland is a part of Disneyland, so that gets me excited. And then I saw they did a presentation at D23 that Chris and I were at. This was a year and a half ago, and I watched it, and it just bored me to tears. And it was like, what are you guys doing? This isn't selling the movie at all. And my interest level was I was pretty bummed after that. Then I saw the teaser trailer, and I'm like, okay, you got me back now. And then I saw that clip that they released of early in the film, it appears, where this girl goes to George Clooney's weird place, and all these people start attacking him. They have to go to Tomorrowland to escape, and I'm like, that hooked me. So this does exactly what I want a film to do, is where the teaser gets me intrigued. They show me a little bit more, and I'm definitely locked into the movie. I don't know much about it. Other than that, I'm at the perfect place for Tomorrowland right now. I hope it's good.
Yeah, I remember that at D23. They had a box and they were just taking things out of it. I was like, I don't even know what this film's about.
It's like a bad murder mystery.
Yeah.
That was part of the mystery, but it also, like, you want to entice and engage your audience. And I was like, okay, cool. So, Christian, what about you? 1 to 5?
Well, I've seen it. And I think before I saw it,
The show's called Coming Soon, Christian.
I'm just saying I've seen it because Amy Rose likes to bring up sometimes. I know you're new to the show here, Mark.
Yeah.
So,
I'm new to being on camera.
Sit down, Maud.
yeah, but I want to let everyone know that it was on my most anticipated. And it was at seeing it for sure. Opening weekend. It's a 4 for me. And what Brad Bird does is that if you've seen Mission Impossible 4, for what he's done as a brand new action director, because he made his career in animation, with The Incredibles and Iron Giant. This movie looks like it's going to be an original sci-fi piece. Granted that it's on Tomorrowland. It's based off a ride the same way the Pirates of the Caribbean were based off a ride, but then he developed an original story with it. So, and then you have the addition of George Clooney and Hugh Laurie. You've got a lot of great elements here, and because you got to also remember that Brad Bird was the first guy they went to for The Force Awakens, for Episode 7. So he is a hot director right now. He's a guy that is making these blockbuster films, but making them in a very original way. So, it's absolutely opening weekend for me.
David?
I'm opening weekend as well, and it was because of that clip. I kind of wish I didn't see it. I saw it. I was at AMC IMAX seeing Avengers: Age of Ultron for the second time, and they showed that clip, and I was like, "Oh, it's a lot of footage that we're seeing, but it is an awesome clip. Seeing her go to Clooney's house, and Britt Robertson interests me. I'm curious to see if she's going to convince me that this is an actress I need to pay attention to, because I've seen her come from the CW, come from Secret Circle to doing a few films, but I don't know if I by her magnetism yet. I'm not sold on her. I don't see her and be like, oh wow, I really want to see what she's going to do next. But I'm hoping that this movie will make me a believer in her, because I think she's interesting. I hope she can become a good actor.
See, I completely am on the Britt Robertson train. I think that she kind of reminds me of Rachel McAdams. She has this natural quality about her. She's not acting. She is completely that character. I feel like I know her. And The Longest Ride, which I hate, because Nicholas Sparks, other than The Notebook, it's paint by numbers again. I'm just like, okay, here comes the emotional scene, and here comes this, and he's back. And I'm just like, why do your films make so much money? But she, in The Longest Ride, I couldn't take my eyes off her. She's got something special. And I think that, to really shine in a movie, it really takes something. And I think that with her and Clooney opposite each other, Hugh Laurie was born to play a villain. I don't know how he would feel about hearing that from me, but he just has that menacing, brilliant scientist thing down. So this has all the elements for me. And Disney is unstoppable right now. They just hit after hit after hit.
Well, one of the things David said as far as that you wish you didn't see that clip. And I'm pretty sure Brad Bird, one of the reasons that they were showing that clip is because people don't really know what this movie is.
Yeah.
They really don't know what it is at
box.
all. Yeah. So and I think that what Brad Bird said was if you were sold on those first teasers, then not to watch that clip. But if you weren't, you wanted to know a little bit more about it, to watch that clip. And I think that is fair for him to say, because a lot of people have what's it about, and it's still kind of hard even after seeing it to really explain what it's about. It really is.
Well, for him to choose this over Force Awakens for whatever reasons he did, it gets me intrigued. Yeah. I'm like, wait, what did this have that Star Wars didn't? So now I need to see this movie.
Yeah, I hope he directs a spinoff. But anyway, back to my rating. I would also say opening weekend. The first teaser clip, I remember when she touches the pin, and it's just it's gorgeous. And I'm also a huge fan of Disneyland. So just to
is the ride cool? Really quick, I've never been. I haven't been to Disneyland in 20 years.
It's really cool.
So, okay.
But it also had the second actual trailer that I saw had elements of cheese, and I was like, this could kind of break. That's with sci-fi. You're at a really dangerous point, and having these really cool concepts, and this is very futuristic opposed to the post-apocalyptic sci-fi films we've been seeing as well. So it has that line where it could be really good or kind of get cheesy. So that's what stops me from doing 5, but I think all the elements are intact, so I'm definitely seeing it opening weekend. A lot of pushes going on around here. All right, so our last film of the week, Poltergeist in 3D. Kenan directed this one. Sam Raimi's one of the many many producers. It stars my boy, Sam Rockwell, Rosemary DeWitt, and Jared Harris. This is a reimagining of the classic 1982 film about a family whose suburban home is invaded by angry spirits. When the terrifying apparitions escalate their attacks and take the youngest daughter, the family must come together to rescue her. So, let's start with you, David. 1 to 5.
I get 2. I'm curious. I don't know. I mean, they're here. That was a classic. The Craig T. Nelson version. Is this what the best Sam Rockwell can do right now? Sam Rockwell's a man. He's awesome. Where's Moon 2 with Duncan Jones? I want to watch that one. I don't know if we're ever gonna get that, but I
don't think we should.
We're not gonna get that. But I love Sam Rockwell. He's a man. I love Jared Harris as well from Sherlock as Moriarty. These are excellent actors. That's why I would go see it. But I think the original stands on its own. I don't know if I need a new Poltergeist, but I am curious because of the cast. I'm definitely curious, and I will see it eventually.
I'm also a 2. I'm a curious. I love horror films. I have made that very known. It's a shared experience. I want my popcorn. I laugh because they freak me out. And then, it's so much fun. I love the adrenaline. But every trailer for this has done nothing for me. Even the scary clown, I hate clowns, and you know that as well, has just done nothing for me. So I just can't say, when you're going to remake a classic, this is one of the quintessential classic horror films. Steven Spielberg helped write it. Like, this is an amazing classic film, and it still stands today. And if you're going to bring it to this generation, you have to make it different and exciting. From what I've seen, they're not doing that. It doesn't mean that it won't turn out to be on the big screen. I'm still going to see it. And Sam Rockwell is my favorite actor. Career highlight, I got to talk to him this year, and he's just everything you imagine. He can carry a movie. Rosemary DeWitt, Jared Harris, they have star power here. And, Gil, I'm not either direction, but I just can't say I'm more than a C in it, because if the trailers don't excite you, then they're not doing their job, Christian?
You're curious or seeing it?
I'm curious.
You're curious, okay? Yeah. So because I'll jump and I'll go to seeing it, because first of all, as far as Spielberg writing the first one, a lot of reports that he directed that one.
Yeah.
For the most part, he directed that. I mean, you could feel it
when the Wachowskis and V for Vendetta.
Yes, like when you watch that movie Poltergeist, you feel Steven Spielberg's presence in that, and it was those classic kind of '80s scares. It felt a lot like the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark throughout the entire movie, but it is because of Sam Rockwell, and it is because Sam Raimi producing, that I go, okay, maybe this remake could actually turn out to be okay. Because I agree with you, the trailers haven't really done it all the way, but at least they're sticking to a lot of the true elements from the first. And I don't know enough about Gil Kenan. And as far as Sam Rockwell, why isn't he doing anything better? Because if you look at what Sam Rockwell has done in the past, he's always the guy in the background that's elevating the movie. And whatever, even like the way back, he was the best thing in the movie, but he wasn't in the star. He wasn't the star of it. This is finally a big budget blockbuster movie that he gets to be the star in. I mean, he's going to be the star of the movie, and people. It's funny because not a lot of he doesn't have that star power name. He's got respect. Everyone, when you see everyone in this room, when you ask one of my favorite actors, but he's not mainstream yet. And is this the movie that's going to make him mainstream? Probably not. But if it does well and it's a hit, it'll certainly help get his name in more conversations.
And Rosemary's the same. She's not a marquee name, but everyone loves and respects her. She's really dynamic on screen. She's worked with some of the greats in this industry. So it's I feel very enlightened of a cast, you know? So we'll see how it shakes up.
Yeah, I mean, I love Sam Rockwell, but he's not the star of this movie. The star of this movie is the name Poltergeist, and that's my fear, is that when you release a horror movie, you automatically get a 3 for old Mark Garrett here. I mean, Mark Ellis. This is a 2 for me. This is a curious. I do not care about this, and it's because the trailers have what you all said. It's just like, it's so boring. It's nothing is scaring me. It doesn't even look like it's trying to scare me that much, and that's what I loved about the first Poltergeist. It's one of the scariest films ever made. So now you have this cast that I respect, and you have this name that is legend, and I don't care about it at all, and that's upsetting me. Like, I don't want to see this movie because I don't want to leave the theater mad that they remade this movie. I think this is such a cash grab. It looks like a movie that they put the name on there, and they got whoever they could to be in the movie, and here you go. And I don't know that much about the director. I know he also did City of Ember, which I think was another disappointment. I was looking forward to it initially because I knew Bill Murray was in it, and then it's just kind of blah. So you can't really move me as an audience member. That's a problem, especially when it's a horror movie. Even worse when it's a horror movie that's a remake of a horror movie that I love. So I'm mad about this.
Ellis
now.
is pissed. Someone give that man a hug.
Wow.
or
Somebody
a beer,
take me to
whatever.
Chocolate City.
Oh, you might need that.
Well, on that note, my friends, we're going to end the episode right here. Thanks for joining us for another Coming Soon. I'd like to thank my wonderful panel, starting with Mr. Christian Harloff.
Check me out, obviously, here, AMC Jedi Council every Thursday. Make sure you hashtag AMC Jedi Council and get your questions in there. And follow me, Christian Harloff, Twitter and Instagram.
Thank you, sir. David Griffin, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at GriffinDE, hashtag Chocolate City.
and Chocolate City Part 2, Mr. Mark Ellis.
You can find Christian, David, and I at the Seventh Veil at the open mic this Friday. We won't be mail stripping. You can find me online and Instagram, Twitter at 5150Ellis.
And I'm Amy Rose. You can find me at Amy Rosie in the various social channels. Subscribe, like, share. You know the deal. And get in those comments. We're really interested to see where you rate these 4 films. A lot of good ones out, especially Chocolate City. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Thanks.